Thought I would take this time to document the coins, jewelries, and relics I found in the last 13 years. It's beautiful here during the winter, but not fun to metal detect the lake. Hence, no new footage. So it's mid-January, and for someone like me who likes warmer weather, it starts to feel like this.
Indians.
These are, in total, all the Indian head cents that I found in the lake. The oldest is in 1880 and ranges all the way up to 1909. The next coin I'll show is the first significant coin that really just started me on this hobby. So the story with this coin is, after 2 years of metal detecting, I didn't find anything but maybe a couple of wheat cents and some modern bling and a whole bunch of clad. So then I started doing research, and some of the research did say try to find, a body of water where it was active for, quite a long time. And so that's what I did. And for the entire year, I looked in that lake and really didn't find much. Found a lot more than I was the previous 2 years, though. And then it was September 1st, 2014. I remember it pretty good because it was a holiday. And I was able to scoop up this. And I'll show you what it looked like. It was completely gray and dark. And I initially I thought it was toy money, old toy money. Because I was finding old relics and trash and, things I didn't keep. But I just kept looking in that area because I was finding old things. And so this turns out to be a 1907 Barber half dollar, D mint mark, and looks like it was dropped brand new. So this is the coin, the first significant silver coin I ever found. Led to this. And these are, I am a coin nerd. But these are some of the things that I found. There's others, but these are the more significant. The next set of coins that I found are buffalo nickels, and these pretty much are in total all of them that I've found so far. And actually, the first one that I found was a 1937 D. And I know for all those folks that know coins, this was, if you found this kind of coin, this date with that mint mark, and there was one of the legs missing, that was a valuable coin. But this one has that extra leg. And we're talking about the buffaloes missing one leg on that valuable coin. But this is not that coin. But it is kind of interesting. It's the first buffalo nickel I've ever found. So these are some of the condition they come in. I mean, they're just hammered, and you can't get a date at all. And I've got quite a few of those. Here are all the slick dates. A lot of times the dates rub off these because the date's high up on the coin, and it's the first thing to wear off. But it's typically right here where the shoulder of the Native American. So I got quite a few of those, but the majority of them are in really good shape. Like this one. This one is probably the one that's in the best shape. But a lot of them have come out like that. Really good shape. Beautiful coin. These up here, these are all 1913. And I'll bet this one, you can see the date, but you can tell that it's a 1913 from the back, and they have a different design where it says 5 cents. And these all the dates are rubbed off, but I know that they're 1913 because of the way that the 5 cents is on these, or they're raised and worn. So I got four 1913 Buffalo nickels. And if you're finding Buffalo nickels, you should also probably have a chance to find a V nickel. And so these are all the V nickels that I've found metal detecting, and this one is the first one. And as you can see, it's pretty hammered, but you could just barely make out that it's a V nickel. And ever since I found this one, then every once in a while they would pop up, and some of them in some really great shape, like this one, super great shape. Here's another one. A lot of detail. I mean, probably some of these that look like this, they were dropped, brand new. Here's another one. Most of them from the 1900s, but quite a few also from the 1800s. Also got quite a few that are in various stages of quality. These are all just hammered, but you could just barely make out the V or Lady Liberty on the front. So they're able to be identified. Others come in, good shape, but, not the best. Anyway, one of my favorite nickels to find. Really like finding these. All the dimes. Found quite a few Rosie or Roosevelts. Most of the dimes I've found are Mercury dimes, though. I've got far more. I think I've got more Mercury dimes than I do Roosevelt and Barber dimes put together. But I really like this patina, the gray. A lot of these probably stayed in dry sand, and that's why they turned out like that. But you could tell the ones that probably spent a lifetime wet, like along the shoreline, because they'll look like this. And I don't really clean any of these. I just brush them down with a nylon brush. But love that patina. And then here are the Barber dimes. Some of these look like they were dropped brand new, like this one. And then this 19012. I mean, there is so much detail on this one. It's crazy. Yeah. Quarters are always great to find. The bigger silvers. And the bigger the silver, the more rare it is to find them. Most of what you see here are Washingtons, Standing Liberty, and the Barber. So most of the Washingtons, here's a group of 30s. These are 40s, and then about 2 or 3 from the 50s. But my favorite silver coin to find, quarter anyway, is the Standing Liberty. And these are, if you can look at that, that's in great shape. This is a 1920. Here's one from 1925. Not in that great a shape. Usually the date wears off because it's the same deal as the Buffalo. The date right here is raised, and it usually gets rubbed off. Here's an example of one of those. You can't make the date on that at all, but a Standing Liberty is a Standing Liberty. And Barber quarter. This was a huge surprise. This looks like it was dropped brand new. Incredible detail. And looks like this is a 1911 with no mint mark. This is a slick. This was a surprise too. But still, a barber is a barber. Walking Liberty $50. This is the first one I ever found, and I actually found this with a quarter, so it was a coin spill. And I always thought that things that are dropped in the lake, they move around, but I just don't think that's true. I think once they're dropped, they stay put, and maybe they get buried deeper. But that was the first one, and it is always a surprise to hear that high tone and scoop it up, and it's actually silver. $50 rather than some big piece of brass or something like that. But yeah, this is one of my favorite coins to find. This is absolutely the craziest find, and one I never thought or even had on a bucket list because I thought there'd be no way I'd find one. But I've had videos of this one, and when I first found it, it was completely covered in what looked like rust. So I'm not sure if I think there's copper in some of these, or in most of the silver coins of this age, there was some copper metal in it, but 90% silver. And I think what was happening was that copper was leaching out of it, or it was in a fire. I just don't know which. I am kind of leaning more towards a fire because this was actually, when I found this, it was part of a coin spill. And about, I don't know, maybe less than a foot over, I found these two coins. This is a V nickel. And it was, I put it in a sonic cleaner because it was also covered in what looked like rust. And same with this Indian penny, Indian head cent. And they were so close to each other, and they all had a similar date. So this was in 1886. This was in 1887, V nickel, and this is in 1886. So I think either somebody was sitting on the beach and it just fell out of their pockets, or it was there was a hotel at this site, I think, and maybe there was. I know that there was a fire at the hotel, so maybe these were just part of that fire and lost that way. Because back in those days, this was a lot of money to lose. The more unusual finds. This one was a bucket list. I think it was an 1858 seated Liberty quarter. Very slick, but still glad to have it. One of the bucket lists. This one was a huge, huge surprise. 1865 3-cent piece. Now these aren't silver, but still it's quite a exciting find. Really nice shape. And then this is a silver $50. Silver $50, 1938. And who lost this and why and how did they have it? I don't know, but it was there. And I'll show you some pictures of what it looked like when I found it, because it was just covered in tarnish as well. You couldn't really make it out. And I actually thought it was a Ben Franklin at first. Ben Franklin $50. And they ring up like silver, and you can tell that these are war nickels, as they usually have a mint mark right above the Monticello. 35% silver. And honestly, you find a ton of wheat cent. This is only some of the wheat cent. I find tons and tons of these, but I like finding them. If you were finding wheat cent, that you're in a good area, because wherever there's a wheat cent, there are other coins, silver coins, etc. So that does it. That is pretty much some of the things I found. Anyway, some of the best things I found. These are all the foreign coins that I have found. Pretty close to the border with Canada, so it makes sense that some of these would show up. This is not Canadian. This is an actual English 1 cent. And I think that's might be George V. What is the date? 1927. That's on the back there. The other non-Canadian coin is this. It's a Swedish coin. I think it's called a Kronos. Oops. And that, I think that is, if I can remember right, that was King Gustav V. I think that's what it says. And these are 80% silver. This is a 1938. And then here, this is Queen Victoria. And this is in 1892. Looks like somebody tried to poke a hole in it. It's damaged pretty bad. This one is actually in pretty good shape. This is a 1901. It's a cool coin. They're like the size of a quarter. Just if you can compare. That's a quarter. So they're a little bit bigger than a quarter. And this is George V. This is a 1919, or no, that says 1918. 1 cent. And got another one. This is, I think this is the next year, 1919. I did get a silver dime. This is the only silver Canadian. It's the same guy. And this is a 1916, I believe. And believe it or not, these are the nickels. And this one right here, one day in the morning I went out, to go metal detecting. And this was literally right when I walked up. I just happened to pick the spot, walked up, got the metal detector ready to go into the water. And this coin was just laying right on the top on a rock. So that's strange. The way things happen out there. It's just really weird. This one's a really nice one. I like the toning of that and the detail. Then I found 4 of these type pennies. These are actually pretty cool. I like the look of these. I got 4 of those. These 2 are kind of hammered. But you could still see detail, so that's all that counts. The back on that one's really good. And then I think this is King George VI. These are 1938, I think this one is. And then in 1943. Look how new that one looks. Like they dropped them brand new. And this is just Queen Elizabeth. These are split dates. They got kind of I don't think they're that old. I think they're from like 1967. They got like a bird on the back. And that does it for the foreign coins.